Thursday, August 17th, 2022, regular session. I will call the meeting to order at 5:15 p.m. and please rise and join us in pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Jones, please conduct a roll call.
Mr. Castine.
Present.
Mr. Bizzaio.
Here.
Mr. Hall.
Here.
Mr. Henry.
Here.
Mr. Hughes.
Here.
Mr. Kretzer.
Here.
Mr. Courier.
Here.
Mr. Potiker.
Here.
Mr. Timmons.
Here.
Ms. Waldron is asked to be excused this evening. They have a quorum.
Thank you. All legislators have received a copy of the stenographer's minutes of the July 13th, 2022 regular session and the August 3rd, 2022 regular session. Special session. If there are no additions, deletions, corrections, I will take a motion to accept the minutes. I have a motion by Legislator Hughes, seconded by Legislator Kretzer. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Right now, the legislature is going to pause in its deliberations to introduce a special guest that we have with us tonight. We have Mr. Stephen Aquario, the Executive Director of NISAC. With Stephen is his wife Lisa and their son Stephen Jr. And Steve's with us tonight. We're very pleased to have him with us. We have a presentation for Steve, and I'm going to step over there. I do that, I think. I'm not.
You are, I just want to, that's not how the chamber normally looks.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm going to do that, you know.
Special backdrop for you, Steve.
What a stick.
TV's coming. It's here.
Oh, it's
here.
I can get over there.
That's it. Acting upon instructions from our county administrator, please ignore all the construction that we have there. We're upgrading technology, so I know it doesn't look very good, but we are under construction. So to business. It is often said that to have friends, you must be a friend. Stephen Aquario has many friends across the state and in all 62 counties here in New York. He is a great friend, and Clinton County has no better friend than Stephen Aquario. Legislators are most familiar with Stephen at the NISAC conventions. He's always around, he seems to be everywhere, he's very busy, and he works very hard when he's there and has no fun at all. But we know there's more to Stephen than that. We're all very familiar with him. Stephen is known for saying that local governments, counties in particular, are the heart of New York State and is the government closest to the people. County government touches people's lives every day in very important ways. We build and maintain roads and bridges, provide law enforcement and emergency services, protect vulnerable children, provide health care and services to the aging, and countless other critical services to our residents. We are better able to keep and perform these services thanks to NISAC and Stephen Aquario. For many years, he has made himself constantly available to educate, advocate, and serve our county. He provides insight and guidance on numberless pieces of proposed federal and state legislation and mandates that can and do affect every person in this county. There are just too many examples of Stephen's accomplishments to list them all here or to go into detail, but I will briefly mention just a couple. Some go back years, and some are much more recent. The Medicare, Stephen was active in the Medicare cap savings, which resulted in savings to Clinton County of $15.9 million. His tireless fight against unfunded mandates with the 9 for 90 campaign, which outlined that 9 state programs consume 90% of the county property tax levy. He was active in securing the internet sales tax law, which allowed counties to collect sales tax on internet transactions. He helped us in weathering the Great Recession with substantial cuts to counties, and leading county leaders through COVID pandemic with daily conference calls, advocating for state resources for counties, and helping counties to share supplies and resources with each other. Recently, he worked in securing ARPA funding for county governments. That amounted to $15.6 million for Clinton County. Stephen has never lost sight that policy, budgets, and taxes are not just philosophical discussions or numbers on a piece of paper. They impact people's lives in important ways, and he works to ensure that fact is never forgotten nor minimized. For this and many other reasons, this legislature has fittingly and rightfully decided that Stephen is deserving of recognition by presenting him with the inaugural You Are a 10 Award. As it's the first time that this legislature will be presenting the You Are a 10 Award, I would like to take just a minute to explain the meaning and the significance of the award. The number 10 is most commonly used by people to rate the highest quality of service or to measure one's satisfaction with a product. For example, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest, please rate your experience. It is rare for a person or an organization to receive a 10. There is, however, a lesser known use of the number 10 that Clinton County legislators are more familiar with than perhaps most of you are. Years ago, all 62 counties in New York State were assigned by the state identifying numbers ranging from 1 to 62. Clinton County was assigned the identifying number of 10. Some legislators have that county identification number on their vehicle license plates in conjunction with the legislative area that they represent. So keeping these two disparate examples of the number 10 in mind, that of representing the highest quality of service, and also identifying a specific geographical area, in this case, that of Clinton County, it seemed appropriate that the legislature would synthesize these dual meanings of the number 10 into a single award that represented exemplary public service to the people of Clinton County. And tonight, we are here to present it to our very dear friend, Stephen Aquario. The inscription on the award reads, Stephen J. Aquario, you are a 10. In grateful appreciation for all you have done for Clinton County. Stephen? You'd like to say what you can? I would just like to add that some people wonder if they make a difference. You will never have to wonder that. You have made a difference in New York State to millions of people, and you have made a difference in Clinton County to thousands of people. Thank you very much.
It's certainly a tough act to follow. What an honor. I want to thank my wife Lisa for being with me here tonight. And my son Stephen. Chairman Henry, thank you. Legislators, thank you. Members of the public that are here tonight, thank you very much. I'm just so grateful to our administrator and dear friend, Michael Zerlo. Thank you, Michael. I'm very grateful for the kind words. It's been an honor to serve you all over these years. The association's been around for 100 years. We are approaching our 100-year anniversary of service to county governments. And I'm very grateful for this recognition, for the words that you use, for the service that I'm able to do for you, and to spend the time on your behalf in Albany and Washington, D.C., and have the privilege of working with your county administrator, Michael Zerlo. He's a serious guy, he's a tough guy. He's a hard-working guy, and he's taught me a lot. And I'm grateful and proud to announce that Michael is going to be the president of the New York State Association of Counties in September of 2022, just about 1 month from now. He'll be sworn in as our next president, representing all 62 counties of New York State. It's not an easy job to be president, very diverse state, but I'm confident the leadership that Michael has in working with your great chairman, Mark Henry, he's going to bring the skills that's necessary to guide us through these next several years of hard work in Albany and Washington, D.C. I'm very grateful, Michael, for you to do that, and thank you for all that you do for Clinton County and for NISAC and for me. Thank you. I'll just close by saying these are challenging times. I know you have a busy agenda tonight. Very challenging times. But look what we went through. If we look in this rear view mirror, just think about what we went through. We persevered. We made it. Got through it together, helping each other. So no matter what comes our way, the one thing I want you to take away from me tonight, the one thing, is that we can persevere. We can get through the challenges that we have. COVID was the hardest thing I ever went through in my entire life. And I know for many of you, switching remote meetings and telephone calls. Chairman, thank you so much for liaisoning with the association. Michael being on all those calls every night, 7 to 9 p.m., 2-hour call. Working together, we were able to help each other and get through. So the one thing to take away I wanted to leave behind is no matter what life throws at us, the challenges in this great county of Clinton, which I have deep family ties to. My Aunt Jack and Uncle Marion are from here. They have a sporting goods store, Kale Sporting Goods. My Aunt Marion was a school nurse at Peru High School. So I have deep ties to this county, to this area. My mother went to grade school in Taos, New York. So I have the North Country in my blood. I'll just end by saying, Chairman, County Administrator, I am deeply grateful for this recognition, and I'll always remember all of you here this evening and the rest of my life. Thank you very, very much. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
All right, back door. Thank you all for your patience. Thank you for attending that. I will now recognize those in the audience who wish to share their thoughts and concerns with the legislature. Please raise your hand if you wish to be recognized. State your name and address for the record. In accordance with the rules of orders, all speakers will be limited to 5 minutes, or in some cases, groups may be limited to 5 minutes. How many folks do we have to speak now? I don't want to get groups confused, so I want you to all go together. So, do we have two separate? Okay, you have your group?
I have myself, yes.
Okay, there's two of you?
No, there's one of me.
How many do we have?
There's only one from our group.
Okay. And then you are all on the same, it's by topics, not necessarily by group. So you're all on the same topic, and you are all on the same topic. And we have three of you?
One of me.
Okay. One of you.
That's here.
All right. Just trying to get an idea how the best way to handle all this. All right, if you would like to go first, ma'am, if you.
Myself?
Yeah, if you'd like to go first, go ahead. State your name and address for the record. And you'll have 5 minutes.
before we start, I'd like to have the 7 minutes you offered me, because you asked me some questions last week that I couldn't answer, and I would like to bring those answers to you today, which would be a supplement to my statement. Would that be all right?
Sure, I'll give you 2 more minutes.
Okay. Beth Ashbrander, 20 Lynn Street, Plattsburgh, New York. Good evening. I hope you all had a pleasant summer. As a 12th generation American, I come here today with resolve of duty to defend the Constitution or Republic of the United States of America. As some of you may be aware, this past Saturday, the pit, hosted by Greg Phillips and Catherine Eckenbright, had a guest, the New York Citizens Audit Director, who made public the findings of a structured matrix system operating within the New York State voter rolls to assign registrations and votes. The matrix was hidden in 6 layers of code to obscure the underlying in-range section pattern for 62 territories. The research team was able to decode the 6-layer pattern to discover that registration numbers were being assigned in increments of 10 reps so as not to repeat the repetitious numbers. An email was sent to you about this in greater detail. In approaching this approach of managing the voter rolls is apparently used in the Middle East to control the election outcomes per the intelligence community. The matrix has been described as a weaponization of the New York State voter rolls. What does that mean? Each registration in the database has its own unique information for tracking or extracting. Each phantom or fake registration is known. The New York Citizens Audit has identified 3 million fake registrations and votes with evidence from this analysis. Another 8 million are flagged. The petitioners claim these felony votes deprive petitioners of equal protections under the law. This system operates independently of tabulators or machines. This is absentee ballots. There are unlimited secret fake votes. If any of you watched 2,000 Mules, that's the other half of this. Trafficking ballots. The key holders hold the outcomes in every New York State district. They can plug the software program into the matrix, assign votes, whether they're valid or not. The New York Citizens Audit found 38% of the New York State Legislature, Assembly, and Senate have more votes cast in the 2020 election from fraudulent, illegal, invalid registrations than their margins of victory. 41% of the congressional representatives are imposters and should have never been certified. These people are signing laws and causing death and destruction in New York State. 32% of the Assembly are radical progressives who the GOP did not oppose. 40 assemblymen, 8 senators, and 1 congressional candidate. We the people must get on the same page. This is not a left or right issue, it's an American issue. This matrix was programmed into the New York State voter rolls and somebody signed off on it. The New York Citizens Audit Pact will be holding those responsible and legally accountable. To recap, June 22nd, the people of Clinton County, the petitioners, presented the Clinton County petition for redress of grievances for violations of New York State election laws. On the 27th, the said petition was served in Albany to the Attorney General Letitia James, the New York State Board of Election Commissioners, and the Secretary of State. On July 13th, petitioners read to the Clinton County Legislature the resolution and reviewed identity theft. On the 27th, Clinton County law enforcement document was reviewed with Sheriff Favreau for investigation of those cloned identities, irregular votes, maiden name, no address issues in our county. These violations of election law are within the jurisdiction of the Clinton County Sheriff to investigate. Early canvassing has validated these findings. Please share with us the findings of this legislative body regarding concerns of the people and what you are doing about these irregular votes. We, the petitioners, would like the Clinton County Board of Election 2020 election data to be preserved for forensic audit. A remedy has been asked of by the Clinton County petitioners of the Clinton County Legislature in the form of a resolution because the petitioners are faced with a government that is not duly elected by the people. Members of this Clinton County Legislature, it is your fiduciary responsibility to respond to an active petition and take seriously the disenfranchisement of the voters of Clinton County. I ask you to refer to the resolution on page 3 of 4, number 11, which that the members of the Clinton County Legislature hereby notify the President of the New York State Senate, the Speaker of the Assembly, and the members of Congress and the state of New York that it is justifiable that the position that the Clinton County Legislature set aside the Clinton County elections as irredeemably compromised. Due to this irredeemably flawed nature of these elections that prevent the declaration of a clear winner of said presidential electors and down ballot races. For your answers, the answers to your question, Mr. Henry, purge votes, there's a difference between purge votes. There's purge with a date and purge without a date. Purge with a date would be both my parents, who are purged from the Clinton County rolls, yet remain on the New York State voter rolls. This is part of the problem, is that these preserved, purged records on the New York State voter rolls, the SBOID number, the State Board of Election number, is hijacked and reassigned to somebody else, and or there is a vote attached to that purged person. So why are my parents still on the voter rolls if they're purged? Purged without a date, we have 1,725,505 purged without a date, which means every single one of those purged people are actually vulnerable to this matrix of stealing votes and reassigning them. No address came up. You cannot vote without an address. A city and a zip code does not count, and therefore it's ineligible to vote, and we had 104 of those. Article 78. New York Citizens Audit will be executing Article 78 throughout the state of New York. We have a pro se constitutional attorney, and what Article 78 practice is a practice of it's a civil law practice and rules. It outlines the procedures for appealing and challenging the decisions and actions of administrative agency determinations, public bodies, and officers. This can also be accomplished through the doctrine of lesser magistrates because of tyranny. Thank you very much, and I'd love to hear your response.
Thank you.
This is for
Sure.
Mr. Zerlo
Take your time.
to pass out
You
to
don't have to.
everyone.
You don't have to.
It has, also has the 1963.
Thank you very much. The legislature, the Clinton County Legislature, is a deliberative body and not an investigatory one. We have listened now 3 times to your arguments, and we have reviewed the information that you have sent us. The allegations raised in the petition for redress you shared with the legislature in June are addressed to the Attorney General of New York and the New York State Board of Elections Commissioners, which you have identified as the authorities to redress your grievances. You have brought forward a number of allegations about the 2020 election and have petitioned for redress, which is your right. The legislature recognizes the exercise of your right to due process and will leave the determination of facts and law to the Attorney General and the New York State Board of Elections Commissioner and your ability to prove your case. Based on the above, the legislature will not adopt the resolution that you have requested. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your information. Next, we'll go on this side. Go right ahead, Matt.
Good evening, I'm Beth Winter. I live in Keysville, New York. I am a lifelong resident of both Clinton and Essex counties, and I have worked as a practicing RN for 37 years in Clinton County. I am currently the head nurse at Clinton County Nursing Home in the Adirondack unit. And I just have a few things that I would like to bring to your attention. These are concerns that are in the nursing home at this time. The first one has to do with the stay pay that was presented to us on July 14th. And our understanding at that time was that the nursing home would be sold by December 31st. That would be the end. And at that point, anyone who stayed with the county nursing home until it was sold would receive a stay pay. I calculated that that stay pay, for me personally, because I have less than 10 years there, would amount to $29.24 per day before taxes. There's now concern amongst the staff that the nursing home will not be sold by the close of 2022. And we would like to know, will the stay pay be paid then, as we believed it would be, or will it be renegotiated? And I will tell you now that the problem with not paying it then, and then dangling that carrot months and months out, is you will not have people staying. We have skin in the game. This is our livelihood, and most of us are women. It's a female-dominated profession, generally speaking. We have families to support, and we just cannot stay in the game for peanuts. I also calculated what I would be making for my stay pay if that $5,000 is not recalculated for extending beyond December 31st of 2022. And if this isn't completed by April of 2023, my stay pay would amount to $17.18 a day before taxes. And you all know what taxes do. So basically, I would be working for just about nothing for staying with the county. I would ask that personnel be forthcoming and transparent with everything that is going on. This is a very upsetting time for the staff. We are a small but very dedicated group. We take care of people from Clinton and Essex County that need our services. And we are working short-staffed. We are working extra shifts. I just came off a week of overnights, thank you, so that our director of nursing would not have to continue to do a whole week of overnights. So I would like you to think about the stay pay, and the staff do need to know, will it be paid out on December 31st as we were originally led to think it would be, and what the process will be if the nursing home is not sold. And honestly, it's unlikely the sale will be completed by the end of 2022. You just don't sell a nursing home in a few months. The second thing I'd like to talk about is the healthcare worker bonus that we are eligible for through New York State. Again, if personnel could maybe relay some information so that it can be passed in the nursing home. We are under a very tight deadline for this. New York State has set it up so that the county has to submit a list of eligible employees for that. And then we have to sign attestation saying that that data is accurate before we get our bonus pay from New York State for working through COVID. The deadline is September 2nd. That is, I think, about 16 days away, if I'm correct. That is not a lot of time for this to happen. And I have been made aware that their personnel is doing some things behind the scenes, but communicating that to the staff would go a long way towards easing their anxiety about this. The other thing I would like to add is we were made aware that as of January 1st, county employees will go up 2 pay grades. And we are all very happy. It is well deserved for every county employee. The frustration that we have comes from many years of telling people we cannot hire nurses' aides, we cannot hire LPNs, we cannot hire RNs at the current wage. It is very low. And always we've heard there's no money for that. And it's interesting that after we're being sold, there's money for people to go up 2 pay grades. And I don't begrudge any other county employee getting that. But please know how that feels to those of us who have been there. And I'm telling you, we have slogged through 2.5 years of COVID. We have worked short-staffed, and even more short-staffed when we ourselves had COVID and had to be quarantined. We had swabs shoved up our noses twice a week for months on end. We were restricted in travel so that we could be available to work. And now to hear that, thank you, but your positions are abolished, I have to tell you, it feels a little bit like sacrificial lambs. And I don't mean that to be insulting to you. We all know county nursing homes have not survived in New York State. We all knew it was gonna happen at some point, but you have to be aware of the optics. So we couldn't recruit staff. We busted our butts to give the good care. And I will tell you that through COVID, not one resident in our nursing home died from COVID. Not one resident had to go to an acute care hospital because of COVID. And I don't think there's many nursing homes in New York State that can make that claim. And that just goes to show the extra workload and the dedication of all of the staff in every department. And now, again, to be told our positions are abolished, and we're questioning whether the stay pay is really gonna come or not, and if it does, when. It's just very unsettling to the staff that has chosen to stay there. And I think if it's not addressed in an open, transparent, forthcoming communication form, more and more staff will be leaving. They have to work, they have to have health insurance, they have to provide. So I would encourage you to make that a priority for them so that this transition can be less painful for many of us than it already is. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would be next over here? Anybody else on this topic? I don't want to miss anybody. Okay, thank you, ma'am. All right, next. 5 minutes, state your name and address. Go ahead.
My name is Chelsea Ward, PO Box 684, Dannemora, New York, 12929. Until recently, I worked at the Clinton County Sheriff's Department. I stood where Deputy Conlon is standing today to ensure the safety of yourselves and members of the public. I am here today to speak with you about my treatment while employed by the Clinton County Sheriff's Department and ask you if you are truly here for the people of this county or if you are part of the problem. When I first became employed by the Sheriff's Department, I was harassed and sexually harassed by a former lieutenant. He demanded access to my social media accounts that he claimed was part of my background check. He then saved photos from my account to his work computer. So, he showed these pictures of me in my bikini to other deputies, saying, hey, check out the new deputy. While I worked there, I experienced many forms of harassment over that next year. Finally, I reported my complaint to County Personnel Department. My complaint was founded. After that, I thought that would be the end. I was wrong. I was passed over for numerous promotions and denied multiple trainings because I was a woman. The department currently has no problem spending excessive amounts of money on out-of-county training for its SRT team. But when it came to attending trainings outside the county, I was denied. Allegedly, they could not afford to send me and another male to a training because that would require 2 hotel rooms. Clearly, my continued training and education was not worth it to the sheriff. I have been experiencing sexism and discrimination from the county, the sheriff, and those he has chosen to assist him with running the department since I first started in 2013. However, the absolute worst thing the sheriff has chosen to do, in my eyes, was not only affect me, but my children. In 2020, I was pregnant with my first child. I can say the Sheriff's Department was great with providing me with accommodations throughout that pregnancy. They gave me the time needed to pump breast milk at work once I returned from my maternity leave. However, in February 2021, I reported harassment by a sergeant and informed the lieutenant and the major. After my complaint, the sheriff and the county developed a nursing mother policy that limited my ability to pump at work. I filed a grievance that I should be allowed to pump during my meal break, which the sheriff and the county fought against. I was told that I am not entitled to a meal break, as I watched every other member of the sheriff's department spend time getting food and eating. After learning I was pregnant with my second child, the sheriff and the county consistently made me jump through hoops that were far from accommodating. I was belittled by the sheriff in front of the personnel department and a county attorney who sat there quietly and said nothing. I was kicked out of work for 2 weeks while pregnant in retaliation for filing an EOC complaint against the county unlawful nursing mothers policy. The sheriff has a sexist view towards women, especially those in law enforcement. And unfortunately, it seems that the county has chosen to turn a blind eye and has allowed, or even worse, helped cover up his treatment behavior towards his female employees. I made a public Facebook post I encourage you to read if you have not done so. Since making that post, multiple women, current and past employees at the Sheriff's Department, have reached out to me and shared their stories of similar treatment. The women currently working there, like myself prior to now, are scared and unable to speak out due to the sheriff's and the county's employment clause stating that they cannot make any statements that bring discredit upon the sheriff or the department. I challenge you to have the county remove that clause so people can speak out about their treatment without fear of termination. Although that does not protect them from retaliation that I experienced. So I also call for the sheriff's resignation and urge you to encourage it. The women in this county do not deserve to be treated the way the sheriff has treated female employees. The way I did not deserve to be treated the way the sheriff treated me. Furthermore, the sheriff has been in power for far too long, and his corruption appears to run deep. Please do not be part of the problem. Do not be a part of the corrupt system that has allowed and continues to breed sex and discrimination in this county. Women like myself deserve more. Clinton County deserves more. If any of you would like to discuss this further in more detail, I'd be happy to reach out to any one of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes, sir. Again, 5 minutes. State your name and address.
5 minutes, everybody knows me knows. That's almost impossible.
My name is Eric Vong, 230 Golf Course Road, Osceola Forks, New York, 12912. So, first of all, I am a county employee. I'm a 911 dispatcher, which means I work with these great men and women in the Sheriff's Department as well as many other agencies. It kills me to hear things like this, okay? Whether it's city, county, state, it doesn't matter, okay? It's 2022, we should not have these problems, all right? A mother, breast milk, seriously, this should be a no-brainer, okay? I get OES's policy on meal breaks. It's when and if you can do it, probably much similar as the sheriff's policies. But clearly, we must be able to make time for her to do this. It wasn't a problem with her first pregnancy. Why? Maybe because they were fully staffed. I don't know. I don't work for the sheriff. I'm not over there every day. But seriously, this bothers me. Not only as a taxpayer in this county, as a citizen in this county, but also as one of her damn dispatchers. I'm sorry. This deputy, like the rest of the deputies, are rock stars. They do this stuff day in and day out. They take care of the public. They go above and beyond. Much like these county nursing workers do. Healthcare workers, my wife's a nurse. I got your back, all right? What you guys do, just like these deputies, you can't replace that in society. But why are we losing good people in this county? You guys have resolutions tonight. Look at the resolutions on that docket. You've got a boatload to fill. Why? Ask yourself why. I've been in business 22 years outside the county. I don't have these problems with my staff. Good business owners do not have these problems with their staffs. So what do we look at? We look at bad management. Plain and simple. Bad policy and bad management. I'm not blaming the legislature, but maybe you guys ought to open up your ears. Seriously. Listen to these people. That clause she just read in there, is that true, Sheriff Eckler? Is that true?
Address your remarks to the chair.
Okay, Mr.
Not the guy. You address your remarks to me.
I apologize. That clause in there, That's unbelievable, right? The cause of, I mean, retribution, so we have like what, whistleblower protection and all that, so where does that come into play? These people are afraid to come forward? That doesn't even make sense in 2022. Believe me, I'm not a social advocate, okay? I'm a staunch conservative. I'm not one to go blowing whistles for social causes, but this cause, losing great county employees, is ridiculous. It absolutely is. Just like if we lost Deputy Cooley, it would be a great disservice if it was something that was happening to him like this. Do something. Do your jobs. You oversee him. Clearly, this is not just something that is made up. This is an ongoing issue that's never dealt with. That's why problems manifest. That's why problems come back to haunt people. And that's why you're in the position you're in today with so many staff in this county. Wake up. Do your jobs. Protect her rights. Protect any county employee's rights. Whether it's mine, nursing home, sheriff's department, board of election, it doesn't matter. Do your job. Protect their rights. And that's the same as you, Ms. Kimball. Your HR, sorry, personnel department, open up an investigation on this. Why are we losing good deputies? Nobody wants to be a police officer as it is now. We are losing a deputy because she's resigning because of harassment, okay? Because she can't pump breast milk? It's ridiculous. It's totally ridiculous in 2022. I get the pay scale with the county. Trust me, I get the pay scale. And thank you guys for the 2-step raise, January 1. And I get it's hard for municipalities to compete. So when you have problems like that, look at why you're having these problems. It's something deeper, especially when you're losing good employees, especially a sheriff's deputy. This is crazy. Nobody wants to be a cop, like I said. So when you're losing good deputies, good employees, ask yourself why. That's all you have to do. Bad management, bad policies. It's usually one or the other, okay? This county is a great county, but it's far from desirable to work for a lot of reasons. There's a lot of great managers, there's a lot of great administrators in this county, but there's quite a few that are far from desirable in those positions. So, what I'm asking you guys, listen to this woman, look into this. You 10, obviously Ms. Walden's not here, you 10, that's your job. Don't be Mr. Starwell. It's your guys' job, is to watch out for these employees. Okay? Please, it's all I'm asking. Do your job. Don't let good employees like this resign in vain. Take something of her resignation, delve into it, look as to why she's doing it, and go from there with it. Let it alter your policies. A lot of our policies in this county are archaic. Take a look at it, go through it. You got a personnel department, you got a personnel committee, go through it. See what's working, see what's not. Then when you're doing the policies, go to your managers. How many managers you have in this county? You got a ton of them, right? It's highway, OES, I'm not saying that, so I'm saying, go through those managers. See what they're doing, see where their complaints are, right? And then you're gonna understand why you have all these vacancies to fill. Some because of salary pay, I get it. But others, you're gonna find out it's issues like this that are ongoing in the county. But like I said, I'm here for 4046, okay? That's her badge number. That's how I know her through the radio, okay? She's a rock star, just like 99% of them are, okay? And to me, I'm fed up because we're losing a great deputy. We shouldn't be losing police officers in this day and age, all right? If it was because of crime on the streets and New York's worthless policies on bail and brutality against cops, I could understand why she's leaving, okay? Because she's a mother. But to lose this great deputy over this is ridiculous, all right? Especially in 2022. You know, I'd like to know one thing. One thing.
Time for you to sum up.
What's that?
It's time for you to sum up.
Time for you as well. Like I said, I'm in only 5 minutes. Mr. Henry, where do you sit on this? You're the chairperson. I'm asking, where do you sit on this? You're gonna look at this further, you're gonna sweep this under the carpet like everything else. I'm asking you.
Have you completed your remarks?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody next? Okay, thank you very much. We appreciate all of you being here and informing the legislature. We will now now go to committee reports. I will call on the chairperson of each committee in alphabetical order by committee, starting with Buildings and Grounds. Legislator Desire.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting scheduled for August 8th was canceled. The next Buildings and Grounds Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 26th at 4:30 p.m. End of report.
Thank you very much. Children and Family Services, Legislator Bobber.
Chairman, the Children and Family Services Committee met on Tuesday, August 2nd. John Redden, the Commissioner of Social Services, was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing memorandum of understanding, MOU, with 1814 Commemoration Inc., and authorizing contract with the Clinton County Office for the Aging. Mr. Redden also discussed the monthly statistics for June 2022, homeless housing and personnel. Resolutions 524 through 527 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Children and Family Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, September 6th at 5:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Economic Development and County Operations.
On behalf of Legislator Walden, the Economic Development County Operations Committee met on Wednesday, August 10th. Glenn Cutter was present to discuss the resolution authorizing the clerk of the Clinton County Legislature to advertise for a public hearing regarding the status of grant 2508036-19 from the New York State Housing Trust Fund Office of Community Renewal. Rodney Brown was also present to provide an update on the CBIG project. Resolutions 528 through 530 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee and the next Economic Development County Operations Committee. Meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, September 14th at 4 p.m.
Finance Committee, Legislator Dennis.
Yes, the Finance Committee met on Wednesday, August 3rd. Committee Davis, the County Treasurer, was present to discuss sales tax, occupancy tax, and the resolution authorizing ongoing contract with 3+ Month. Sarah Dayton and Seth Hennick of Winston and McCormick presented on the 2021 audit. John Howell, the president of Clinton Community College, provided a presentation on the 22 to 23 budget. And Sean Lucas of Casella Waste Systems Incorporated presented on the potential food waste composting pilot program at the Sand Road facility. The Lake Champlain Lake Board Regional Planning Board budget and salary schedule approval for the 2023 year was also discussed. Resolutions 531 through 535 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The committee was also polled on resolution 536. Next Finance Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, September 7th at 5:15 p.m. in the report.
Thank you very much. Health Committee, Legislator Hughes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Health Committee met on Wednesday, August 3rd. Rochelle Gregory, the Director of Community Services, was present to discuss resolution authorizing contract amendment with Innovatel LLC. Jeff Sisson, the Director of Public Health, was also present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing contract amendment with Teletask Inc. and authorizing contract with Healthy Inc. Mr. Sisson also discussed the Director's report for June 2022 and the Health Department report of July 2022 and the Public Health Connection newsletter for July 2022. Resolutions 537 through 539 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The committee was also polled on resolution 540. The next health committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, September 7th at 4:15 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Human Services Committee, Legislator Prayag.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Human Services Committee met on Tuesday, August 2nd. John Wayne Collins, the Director of the Office for the Aging, was present to discuss the resolution authorizing contract with MHAV and statewide incentives. Wendy Bishop, the Nursing Home Administrator, was present to discuss resolution authorizing payment of renewal certificate and membership dues. Kevin LeBeau, the Director of Veteran Services Agency, was present to discuss monthly statistics for June 2022. Resolution 541 and Resolution 542 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The next Human Services Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, September 6th at 4:15. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Personnel Committee, the Personnel Committee met on Monday, August 1st. Resolutions 543 through 562 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. The committee was also polled on Resolution 563, and the next Personnel Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 12th at 5 p.m. Plattsburgh International Airport, Legislator Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Plattsburgh International Airport Committee met earlier today. Chris Craig, the airport director, was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing a contract with Environmental Fueling Systems LLC and authorizing a lease agreement with Paramount Enterprise International Incorporated. Resolutions 564 through 579 have been placed on the agenda as a result of the committee's recommendation. Resolution 629 has also been placed on the agenda under Waive Rule 13.2. The next Plattsburgh International Airport Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Wednesday, September 28th at 4 p.m.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety Committee, Legislator Castine.
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. The Public Safety Committee met on Monday, August 1st. Sheriff Dave Farber was present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing various contracts for the year 2023 and awarding bid for utility terrain vehicles, UTV, trailer, and tracks. Jamie Rock, the administrative assistant at the Child Advocacy Center, was also in attendance to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing Charles R. Wood grant application and authorizing various contracts. Resolutions 580 through 591 were placed on the agenda as a result of committee's recommendations. The committee was also polled in resolutions 592 through 594. The next Public Safety Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 12th at 4 p.m. End of report.
Thank you, sir. Transportation Committee, Legislator Cruiser.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Transportation Committee met on Monday, August 8th. Shannon Thayer, the Senior Planner for Clinton County Public Transit, was present to discuss increasing the driving starting wage and resolutions authorizing contract with Johnson Controls Fire Protection LP and authorizing Rural Transit Assistance Program Scholarship Grant application and acceptance. Carl Weiss, the Highway Superintendent, was also present to discuss several resolutions, including authorizing Preserve New York grant acceptance and authorizing contract with Foyt Albert Associates. Resolutions 595 through 598 have been placed on the agenda upon the recommendation of the committee, and the next Transportation Committee meeting is tentatively scheduled for Monday, September 26th at 5:15 p.m. And that's the end of the report. Thank you, sir.
Liaison reports. Board of Health, Legislator Potter.
Thank you, Chairman. The Board of Health did not meet in July. Since Dr. Camello's resignation from the president from the Board of Health, the board is in search of a new president. We'll be working on that at this month's meeting. George Miller is currently acting president until a replacement is found. The next, like I said, Board of Health meeting is scheduled for Monday, August 29th at 7 p.m.
Thank you. Chamber of Commerce, Legislator Potter.
No report.
Clinton Community College, Legislator Mazzat.
No report.
Thank you. Community Service Board, Legislator Castine.
No report, sir.
Cooperative Extension, Legislator Timmons.
Our meeting was canceled last night, but everybody got a sheet, tentatively, itinerary for the ag tour.
Okay.
Yeah, and if you could respond, either, directly or to the legislative office, we'd appreciate it. Just trying to really hone in on numbers.
Discipline Review, we have 2 meetings coming up. I'm sorry, Michael, were you done?
Otherwise.
Okay. 2 meetings coming up for Discipline Review Committee. One is the 19th at 1 p.m. and the second one is September 1st at 1 p.m. You didn't meet up. Grievance Committee, nothing, right? Inter-county, nothing. LC and LG, Legislator Hughes Suppressor.
No report.
Soil and Water, Legislative Correa Timmons.
No report, we'll meet tomorrow night.
And Workforce Development Board, Legislative President.
No report.
Thank you. Staff members, any reports, Mr. Favreau?
No report.
All right, Mr. Zerl.
I have nothing for you.
That's not true, one goes to meetings. We will now move on to the resolutions. Before voting on the resolutions, I have to find them. No.
be stacked about this, big.
Before voting on the resolutions, I want to note that the majority of the resolutions have been thoroughly discussed by the appropriate committees, and the legislature is taking action based largely in part on the recommendations of those committees. Mr. Zerlo, will you please read the titles of the resolutions to be acted upon, all 106. 106.
Resolution 524, authorizing memorandum of understanding with the 1814 Commemoration Incorporated Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Brazil. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 525, authorizing contract with Quincy County Office for the Aging, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Kretzer. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 526, authorizing contract with the Joint Council for Economic Opportunity, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 527, authorizing contract with Saranac Central School District, Social Services.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Brazil. Any discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 528, authorizing the clerk of the Clinton County Legislature to advertise for a public hearing regarding the status of grant 250H0369-19 from the New York State Housing Trust Fund Office of Community Renewal Planning.
Motion, Legislator Castine. Second, Legislator Potiker. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 529, authorizing payment of membership dues, weights, and measures.
Motion, Legislator Potiker. Second, Legislator Timmons. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 530, authorizing the legislative office to apply for 2022-2023 Snowmobile Trail Program Grant Funding Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 531, authorizing contract with 3+1 Treasurer's Office.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Castine. Discussion?
I just want to point out, I know Legislator Hall was excused from the meeting, that this is the liquidity analysis folks that we hired. And Treasurer Davis did let the rest of the board know that the amount that we paid these folks, they generated far in excess of the amount that we paid them. So I know that was a conversation that we all had going into that original contract, but I just wanted you to hear that.
Thank you. Good news.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 532, authorizing the clerk of the Quincy County Legislature to advertise for a public hearing on the 2022-2023 Clinton Community College budget, Clinton Community College.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Brazil. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 533, authorizing contract with Barton LaJudas DPC Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 534, authorizing submission of a New York State Water Infrastructure Improvement Act grant in drinking water emerging contaminants funding application for the Clinton County Morrisonville Water Main Extension Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hughes. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 535, approving the 2023 budget for the Lake Champlain, Lake George Regional Planning Board Legislature.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 536, authorizing the county treasurer to establish a capital project titled Rehab Runway Lighting and Signage Design Project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, Legislator Timmons. Second, Legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 537, authorizing contract with Teletask Incorporated Health Department.
Motion, Legislator Hughes. Second, Legislator Brazil. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 538, authorizing contract with Healthy Incorporated, Health Department.
Motion legislator Hughes, second legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 539, authorizing contract amendment with Innovatel LLC, mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Hughes, second legislator Brazil. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 540, authorizing out-of-state travel, Health Department.
Motion legislator Hughes, second legislator Castine. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 541, authorizing payment of renewal certification and membership dues nursing home.
Motion legislator Perrier, second legislator Brazil. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 542, authorizing contract with MHAB, Office for the Aging.
Motion legislator Perrier, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? Roll call.
Yes.
Mr. Perrier? Mr. Hall?
Yes.
You caught me mid-yawn.
You're hesitating now.
Resolution 543, approving backfill of permanent full-time emergency communications dispatcher, emergency services.
Motion legislator Henry, second legislator Castine. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 544, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 545, approving backfill of permanent full-time correction officer position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 546, approving backfill of permanent full-time deputy sheriff position, Sheriff's Department.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 547, approving backfill of permanent part-time station attendant, solid waste.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 548, approving reclassification and replacement of a permanent part-time station attendant position up to a permanent full-time motor equipment operator 1, solid waste.
Motion legislator Kretzer, second legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 549, approving backfill of permanent part-time station attendant, solid waste.
Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 550, approving backfill of permanent full-time motor equipment operator 3, solid waste.
Motion legislator Timmons, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 551, approving backfill of permanent full-time clerk, social services.
Motion legislator Kretzer, second legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 552, approving backfill of permanent full-time account clerk position, social services.
Motion legislator Castine, second legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 553, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time senior custodial worker position down to a permanent full-time custodial worker position with backfill, Plattsburgh International.
Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 554, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time building maintenance worker position up to a permanent full-time senior building maintenance worker position, Plattsburgh International.
Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Kretzer. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 555, approving backfill of permanent full-time custodial worker, Plattsburgh International.
Motion legislator Hall, second legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 556, approving backfill of permanent full-time social worker 1, mental health and addiction.
Motion legislator Kretzer, second legislator Timmons. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 557, approving backfill of permanent full-time social worker 1, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Kratzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 558, approving backfill of permanent full-time social worker 1 position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 559, approving backfill of permanent full-time registered professional nurse position, mental health and addiction.
Motion, legislator Timmons. Second, legislator Castine. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 560, approving backfill of permanent full-time case manager for the elderly position, office for the aged.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kratzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 561, approving reclassification of a permanent full-time coordinator of services for the elderly position to a permanent full-time project coordinator position with backfill, office for the aged.
Motion, legislator Kratzer. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 562, approving replacement of a permanent part-time case manager for the elderly position with a permanent full-time case manager for the elderly position with backfill, office for the aged.
Motion, legislator Castine. Second, legislator Hall. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 563, approving reclassification of a vacant permanent full-time senior account clerk position down to a permanent full-time account clerk typist position with backfill, health department.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Kratzer. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 564, authorizing acquire aqueous film forming foam testing system equipment grant acceptance, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Howe. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
I was sure you say that after the break.
It was perfect.
Yes, we do need a yes vote, sir.
Yes.
Resolution 565, awarding bid for aqueous film forming foam testing system equipment, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion.
What is this, what are these
Roll call.
76 cents?
Yeah, that's funny. The county, so the grant actually didn't give us the extra 76 cents.
76 cents.
So we had to come up with our own 76 cents.
Nice catch. Very good.
2 in a row like that.
I could listen after aqueous film forming foam. Thank you. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 566, authorizing rehabilitation of taxiway B pavement and general aviation apron construction Phase 2 project grant acceptance, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 567, authorizing grant agreement amendment with the Transportation Security Administration for law enforcement officer reimbursement and other transactional agreement, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 568, authorizing snow removal equipment grant extension, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 569, authorizing out-of-state travel, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Timmons. Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 570, authorizing lease agreement with Paramount Enterprises International, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 571, authorizing peer-to-peer car sharing services operating agreement with Turo Incorporated, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
I'd like to let everybody know I voted no on this in committee, but committee passed it through, so I'm saying yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 572, authorizing the update airfield pavement conditions indices survey design project grant acceptance, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 573, authorizing agreement with CNS Engineers for the design services for the update airfield pavement conditions indices survey design project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 574, authorizing the installation of a new passenger boarding bridge, Gate 2, design project grant acceptance, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 575, authorizing agreement with CNS Engineers for the design and the bidding services for installation of a new passenger boarding bridge, Gate 2, design project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Timmons. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 576, authorizing agreement with CNS Engineers for the construction, observation, and administration services for the rehabilitation of taxiway B pavement and general aviation apron construction Phase 2 project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 577, awarding bid for the rehabilitation of taxiway B pavement and general aviation apron construction Phase 2 project, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 578, authorizing contract with Lee Kitchen Carpet and Appliance Center, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion?
I just wanted to write, and I know it says 0 here, so you don't know the whole situation. They built that in, so we pay, then we get it back from the federal government, so it's no cost to us.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 579, authorizing contract with Environmental and Fueling Systems, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 580, awarding bid for utility terrain vehicle, trailer, and track sheriff's department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 581, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for inmate clothing, janitorial, and personal care items, Sheriff's Department.
Discussion? All in favor?
I think we need a motion.
Yeah. You didn't say
Really? I got that.
But I don't think.
Oh, I skipped over that? Oh, you just went to discussion?
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot to do here. Thank you. Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried, only 50 more to go.
Resolution 582, authorizing various contracts for the year 2023 Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 583, authorizing Alzheimer's Foundation of America Project Lifesaver International Grant application and acceptance, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 584, authorizing the purchasing agent to solicit bids for draining, flushing, and replacing glycol in boiler units that supply C and D pods, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 585, authorizing contract with the New York State Office of Children and Family Services, grant acceptance to the District Attorney's Office, Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 586, authorizing the New York State Office of Victim Services, grant acceptance, District Attorney's Office, Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Hall, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 587, authorizing Charles R. Wood Foundation grant application, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 588, authorizing Glenn and Carol Purcell Adirondack Foundation grant application, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 589, authorizing contract with the University of Vermont Health Network Medical Group, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 590, authorizing contract with Samaritan Hospital, an affiliate of St. Peter's Health Partners, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 591, authorizing various contracts, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 592, authorizing contract with Northeast Printing and Distribution Company, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 593, authorizing contract with Wendy Patrick, District Attorney's Office Child Advocacy Center.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 594, authorizing out-of-state travel, District Attorney.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 595, authorizing contract with Johnson Controls Fire Protection, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Desire. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 596, authorizing Rural Transit Assistance Program Scholarship Grant Application and Acceptance, Clinton County Public Transit.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 597, authorizing Preserve New York Grant Acceptance, Highway Department.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 598, authorizing contract with Foyt Albert Associates, Highway.
Motion, legislator Kretzer, second, legislator Desire. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 599, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation corresponding revenue for the Caregivers Resource Center Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 600, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Health Insurance Information Counseling and Assistance Program Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 601, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Wellness and Nutrition Program Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 602, authorizing the county treasurer to establish an appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Unmet Needs Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 603, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the New York State Connects Expansion and Enhancement Grant Office for the Aging.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Perrier. Discussion. Roll call.
Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution number 604, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and and corresponding revenue for the insurance reimbursement for Human Services Center, Buildings and Grounds.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Brazil. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 605, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation for the district attorney's federal justice seizure reserve account, district attorney's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. I got it. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution number 606, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2022 Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act various program grants, employment, and training.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Abstention, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
One abstention, legislator Kretzer. Resolution 607, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the health department budget, health department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 608, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the consolidated local street and highway improvement program, highway department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Kretzer. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. That was a very good resolution.
Yeah.
Resolution 609, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Community Development Block Grant CARES Act, Planning Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 610, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Plattsburgh International Airport operations budget, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hall. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 611, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for insurance reimbursement, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 612, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Alzheimer's Foundation of America Project Lifesaver International Grant, Sheriff's Department.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Castine. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 613, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Continuum of Care Program Grant, Social Services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 614, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the supervision and treatment services for juveniles, planned funds, grant, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Resolution 615, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Safe Harbor Grant, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 616, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for daycare registration grant program, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 617, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act funds and grant, social services.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion. Roll call.
Mr. Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 618, authorizing the county treasurer to reappropriate 2021 funds for various accounts, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Bizayev. Discussion. Roll call.
Spurrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 619, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for insurance reimbursement, treasurer's office.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Desire. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 620, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the 2022 Youth Services, Youth Bureau.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 621, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for youth recreation, Youth Bureau.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 622, authorizing the county treasurer to increase appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Youth Court Grant Youth Bureau. Youth? Say youth? The two youths in question,
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 623, authorizing the county treasurer to establish appropriation and corresponding revenue for the Youth Scholarship Grant Youth Bureau.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 624, authorizing the chairperson to execute an agreement by and between the County of Clinton and the Sheriff of Clinton County and the Civil Service Employees Association Local 1000, AFSCME AFL-CIO Corrections Officers Unit 6450-01 of Clinton County Local 884 personnel.
Motion, legislator Castine, second, legislator Hall. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Resolution 625, authorizing contract with Bond, Shennick and King, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Perrier, second, legislator Potiker. Discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried. Resolution 626, authorizing contract with Senior Living Investment Brokerage, Legislature.
Motion, legislator Timmons, second, legislator Hughes. Roll call.
Under discussion, Chairman, I just want to, I sent you one memo already from this operation. They are doing wonderfully. They are professional. They are working hard on your behalf, and it was a very wise decision. They have done far more than your county team could have done on their own.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes.
Carried.
Resolution 627, approving appointment to the Clinton County Human Rights Commission, Legislature.
5-4, Mr. Perrier.
Yes.
Mr. Castine.
Who's got it?
Mr.
You?
Castine.
Sorry. 5-4, Mr. Castine.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 628, approving appointment to the Clinton County Board of Ethics, Legislature.
Okay, let's try this one. 5-4, Mr. Hall.
Yes.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. All right, I'd like to entertain a motion to waive Rule 13.2
So
regarding the lease agreement. Motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator Hughes. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Resolution 629, authorizing non-aviation lease agreement with Gradients LLC, Plattsburgh International.
Motion, legislator Hall. Second, legislator Bazzaio. Discussion?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Favreau.
Yes.
It was brought to our attention tonight at our airport meeting. Is there any way to get this lease sent to him as soon as possible? We don't want this, for him to come back and say, I got it on the 29th, you want me to sign it on the 30th?
You can send it to him by email in the morning.
Thank you, sir.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Mr. Perrier?
Yes.
Mr. Hall?
Yes. Thank you.
Carried. Does anyone have any else come before the legislature? I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by legislator Hall, second by legislator Simmons. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
6:46 p.m.
Carried. We are adjourned. Thank you.